In this lesson, we are going to talk about using the text after function that helps us parse data based on a specific condition. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's a few names, and they are first, middle, last, and I would like to just take off the last name. Now, the easiest way to do that really would to be to use the what we call the text after function. And what I'm going to say is, well, I want the text that comes after the second space. I have a first name, a space, a second name, a space. So all I want is Pierre, Scott, Parker. So how could I do that? Well, the easiest way is the text after function, and this is a rather new function, and it is very handy. So text after, and then you open up your parentheses, and now you want to know, okay, what text are you evaluating? I'm going to evaluate what's in A1. Then it wants to know, okay, what is the delimiter? That is, after what? Is it a space? Is it a period? Is it a comma? In this case, it's a space. So all we have to do is open up a quote, hit the space bar once, close the quote, and there's our space. So after a space, but we need to tell it which space now because it's going to ask us for the instance number. So we can take everything after the first space or the second space. We want it after the second space. Now there are some other optional where we can say, well, do we need to match a specific case? In this case, that would be irrelevant. But if you were looking, let's say, for a specific letter and uppercase, lowercase mattered, you could say that. Okay, but this we don't have to put that in. Okay, but for now, I'll just put A1, insensitive. Okay, and then do you want to match to the end? Number 1, yes. And what do we do if not found? You could put something such as not found if there wasn't a second space. But we won't have that, but that's basically how it works. Now you can see here, there we go. So looking at A1, the delimiter was the space, and after the second space, we wanted everything after that. Go ahead and use your fill handle and drag that down, and it works every time. So if you had thousands of rows of data, you could do it just that quickly. Now there is also another function called text before, and that works very similar, except it goes kind of the other way. It goes to the left. So instead of going left to right, it goes right to the left. So let's see how that works. So I would put in A1, and I'm going to look for a space. Now, it's when it finds the first space between Jean and Louise, what do you want to do? Well, because it's text before, we want to go left. So after the first space. So what we would have here is it'll find the first space, and then it will give you the text before that space. There we go. And that is basically how text before works. So 2 very handy functions for you, and that is today's lesson.